Oh baby, we're finally here talking about this game. What's going on, everyone? Septic here. And let's finally talk about Persona 3 Reload. The Persona 3 remake that we've all been waiting for, all been wanting, it's finally coming. What started off as many people wishing for this to be real, hoping that it ends up happening. We end up having a leak back in April that was possibly teasing us Persona 3 Reload, but we didn't really know if it was real or not. And now finally come June, we finally get that reveal. And not only that, as of making this video a few days ago, we got the release date of the game. It is absolutely incredible to finally see this game get a remake. The trailers that we've seen so far have been nothing but bangers, man. The game is looking gorgeous. I'm loving the visuals. I love the art style. Everything about the game is what I expected to see in a remake of Persona 3. The updated visuals, the beautiful new artworks for the all-out attacks, the fact that we can now control our party from Persona 3 Portable, new side stories, and many other small little things that they're doing, combining stuff from FES and Portable. However, despite that, would you really consider Persona 3 Reload the definitive way to play Persona 3? The reason I mention this is because a lot of people don't see it that way, because there's two major things that are missing from this game. The two things being the answer and the female protag route. These are two things that people want to have in the game, but so far that's not going to happen. But here's the thing, whether you want to call it copium or just plain being delusional, I personally believe that we are going to get the answer as DLC. I'll get back to FemC later, but for now, I want to talk about the answer. I honestly do believe we are going to get the answer. Now, the thing is that we already know the DLC that's coming for the game. We have background music from Persona 4 Golden and Persona 5 Royal. We have costume sets from both those games as well. The Yasogami High set, Shujin Academy set, and the Phantom Thieves set. And of course, we have personas from Persona 4 Golden and 5 Royal. So just like Persona 5 and 5 Royal, they're just making costume DLC. However, I still think they're working behind the scenes on another DLC, and that's going to be for the answer. And here's the thing. For Persona 5 to Persona 5 Royal, a lot of people wanted them to just pretty much make the Royal content just DLC, and then once you download that DLC, you just get it for the vanilla P5. And I understand that would have been awesome, but the thing is that with the way it was, they would have had to just redo the whole game. They redid that whole game. There were a lot of new mechanics added into that pretty much made it a new game. So it was kind of impossible to release that as a DLC. But the answer is not like that. The answer is something you play at the end of Persona 3. It is basically an epilogue that tells the tales of what happens after the events of 3. Given how Persona 3 is going to be coming out soon with this, with Reload, I don't want to talk about spoilers. I want to keep it spoiler free for those that do not want to pretty much get spoiled on the game. Granted, I know it is an older game, but this is a remake, and I know there's people that are probably watching this that don't want to see any spoilers. But the TLDR version of it is that it is an epilogue that takes place after the events of Persona 3, and it's focused on Aigis being the main protag in that one. Some people don't agree that it needed like an extra explanation, but it was still cool nonetheless. However, I feel like it was executed poorly. It was probably the thing that people hated the most, about Persona. There was nothing with social links in this epilogue, none of this daily life. No, it was just mainly focused on grinding, being a dungeon crawler essentially. And for many people, it was a chore. P3 Reload is changing a lot of things. One of the major problems of P3 was the EXP game. It was absolutely atrocious. I'm going to assume that Persona 3 Reload finally fixed that situation and the EXP grind isn't as bad as before. So that's one of the things that we can use to fix the answer. The EXP grind is way better. And then the other thing I'm thinking about is toning down on the dungeon crawling. Sometimes going through those floors just felt like a slog. So that maybe they'll probably decrease how many floors you have to go through, make it I guess a quicker experience, but also just make it fun. Give us a reason to want to just grind out and pretty much play essentially an SMT game. I feel like with how important the answer is to the lore, I feel like it wouldn't make sense to just kind of just neglect it altogether. And I do personally believe they want to release it later on down the line. It would make sense. They just want to focus on making P3, the original OG P3, make it as amazing as possible, and then later on working on the answer, given some time, to cook, Reload, and then after Reload is done, gone golden, they continue working on the answer, and then they just release it later on. I think it'll be fine because Pretty much it'll give people enough time to beat P3 Reload, and then once the answer drops, it'll get people already have beaten the game and they can just jump into the answer just fine. And not only that, we have this new armband mechanic. Now, we don't know what exactly this armband mechanic is going to do, but whatever it is, they already confirmed to us that it is going to do something gameplay. So we already have something that would make the answer better, a new mechanic. Whatever this new mechanic is going to be, it's going to spice up the gameplay for both the original game, Reload, and then whatever the answer is going to be. But yes, I do personally believe we are going to get the answer. No ifs, ands, or buts. And if it doesn't end up happening, I was coping, you know what I mean? But that's me hoping that the answer is going to be in. You know, I might as well also mention and talk about Fems Route. As we know, Persona 3 Reload is going to include Makoto Yuki as the main character. But what about Kotone? A lot of people do want to see Fems Route added into the game. That's another thing that they can add as DLC. However, I don't see them prioritizing it, especially with how long they'd have to probably code all that in, especially with how long it took to just make P3 Reload. Basically, just making the game again, but from the perspective of Kotone, would take a really long time. Can they do it? Absolutely. Do I see it happening? I don't think so. I hope it ends up happening. Like, to be honest, I really do. Like, they can do it. The thing is that it would probably take a little bit longer for it to release. It would take probably about maybe a year like from now, or maybe 2, who knows. But I really don't think that they're gonna do a Fems Route, and I can only really see them just doing the answer because it's quicker to do, not as long, and they don't have to, I guess, worry too much about it. But here's crossing my fingers. But that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about when it comes to Persona 3 Reload. Just mainly talk about how I want the answer in the game and how I personally believe that it will happen. And you can probably just come back to this video later on if it ends up never happening and be like, look at this man coping. But anyways, regardless of the case, even if we don't get the answer, I know Persona 3 Reload is going to be a damn good time. We are in for a treat. I'm definitely getting it day one. I already got my collector's edition pre-ordered. I am going to go insane. I'm going broke, especially with September and November being filled with tons of games that are coming out that are going to just make me broke. And yeah, it's over for me, bro. I might as well just give up my wallet. But anyways, I want to know what you guys think. Are you excited for Persona 3 Reload? And do you guys personally believe that we might get the answer and Femsi later on as DLC? Let me know down below in the comments section. Anyways, if you made it to the end of this video, I want to thank you all for watching. If you're new to the channel, I want you to hit that subscribe button. It will really mean a lot to me. We have reached 250 subs. It is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much to everyone who's watched all my videos. I have a giveaway that I have to do. Just so if you're watching this and you're hearing this, just stay tuned. Just hit that subscribe button. You'll pretty much be kept up to date on when this giveaway will happen. I'm also on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. I'm not calling it X. We're keeping it to Twitter. All the links will be down in the description. If you want to follow me there, go for it. And other than that, once again, thank you all for watching. I hope you have yourselves a fantastic day, and take care, everyone.